Welcome to Game Chat, where we talk about the latest game news. In our new news section, we're going to talk about Donkey Kong, the first new Donkey Kong game in about, 20 years or so?
I'd say so, yeah.
Yep. For the Switch 2, new border game coming up, Borderlands 4, Nintendo Switch, the hottest item of the summer right now, and Microsoft's new handheld device. We're going to talk about that. And the Squid Games are coming to Reload for Fortnite. And we're getting a new COD of new Black Ops 7 for COD. And Death Strand 2 on the Beach is a new release or DLC for that series. And a whole bunch and more on this episode of Game Chat. All right. Hey Alan, how's it going?
It's going awesome, Darren. How are you?
Doing good.
Good.
Over here in the corner, we
we got a little different setup now. What do you think? I like it.
I
think it looks sharp. We're looking right in the camera. We're not looking at the little TV off, and it's just I like it. We'll see if this works. If you guys like it, let us know. If you don't like it, we'll do something else, or we won't. Either way.
Either way. So, what have you been doing, or
what have I been playing lately? I have been. We've been doing Vasia Royale. Yeah. Having a lot of fun with that. So I've made it a mental note of myself just to play like a round a day, just to kind of keep my skills sharp and all that. And it's fun. I like it. I was having so much fun with the long distance shooting after it had been gone for a while with the Star Wars stuff. They actually downloaded PUBG and jumped into a match of PUBG over the weekend. And I haven't played a match in, I'd say, at least 3 to 5 years. Got third place. So...
Yeah, I've
gotta be doing
given up
something
on
right.
Anything, I've given up on Fortnite. Period.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm back to COD.
Nice.
Back sweating it out over there in COD.
Very cool. Yeah. That and Rocket League. I've been playing. Rocket League's just been catching my attention.
Yeah.
Having a lot of fun.
League.
Well, yeah, we've got the esports and stuff, and we've been talking about what it's going to look like next year and all that. So I think we're going to have very, very rough ideas that we have is we're going to have a couple teams that are based right out of MVU. And they're going to be the ones that are like the competitive, the varsity teams, and a junior varsity team. So we can have as many teams as we want.
Yeah.
So I think what's going to happen is we'll have a coach there that's running those matches through the play versus and stuff, and we will still have a team here at the TV station still competing in the same varsity sense, but it's going to be a much more casual type of atmosphere as opposed to very, hyper competitive.
Yeah.
Because I want the kids that come here, it's going to be
not
just the competitive.
You're going to get the kids.
I think so, absolutely. Because there's probably 15 to 20 kids that would love to do esports, but they don't come here. And so the kids that come here are still going to keep coming here. And what I want to do...
Oh, so the actual MVO school.
Yeah, the school will have this. They'll take the Switch that we got here, and I'll bring in my own Switch or however that'll work. But like they'll have their own 2 teams that are competing and play.
They're the ones that don't want to come up to the studio, but they want to play. For
the ones that are more comfortable. Just I want to stay at the school, and then we just get right into it. And he has a huge. Ryan Burns is the teacher. Shout out to Ryan. He's been running Smash Brothers tournaments all past school year on Fridays and having kids that have no idea about what we've been doing for the past couple of years here.
Yeah.
So we've been talking how to coordinate, integrate all that stuff, and I think that's what we came up with. My idea is the kids that are coming here to compete, there's going to be a lot of the media production element to it. So if you want to compete and that's what you're here for, but if you want to compete and you want to kind of learn how the production works on that side of it, that's what but still be a part of the team and all that stuff. I think that's what we can be here for.
And it'll be also, I'm just going to say, be funny if you play against MVU versus MVU.
Oh, and we end up beating them. Absolutely. Oh, we'll have some inter squad matches like that. Absolutely.
MVU versus MVU.
Yeah. And big picture idea is if I get MVU, I'm kind of looking at it as these guys are going to be all set and off and running with an esports program, I want to find another school in Franklin County. I want BFA or Richford or Enosburg. If I got to start hosting classes here and you guys are bringing people from Enosburg, and then
Yeah.
eventually a couple years later, I can help you get set up. That's something I am passionate about and want to help with. So if there's any,
Yeah, me too. I mean, I would love to see the high school kids
yeah,
do this.
if anybody at Richford High School, Enosburg Falls High School, or BFA St. Albans is interested in doing competitive varsity at esports, shoot me a message, tech@northwestaccess.tv. I really think I can help facilitate getting a program up and
Yeah.
running for those schools. It's kind of
Oh,
my
you need
charge at
also go
this
call up the
time.
principals,
So.
hey, you want a program?
Kind of, yeah. It's a lot. It's getting people to wrap their heads around video games being a varsity high school sport.
Yeah.
That's kind of the toughest part. The next step is figuring out who's running it and what the structure is and all that stuff. So, I know those schools. They all have some sort of gaming club or sport
Yeah.
or thing like that, and it may or may not be just a perfect marriage or whatever. But I'm more than happy to
Me too.
help people figure that stuff out because I think it's awesome to have all of the schools having some esports
That's what
team
I've
set
been
up.
saying day one, and we need to have all schools because it'd
Yep.
be kind of fun for the kids too to have,
Going against Milton or Winooski
Milton,
or
yeah.
oh god, we gotta going
have
up
it in
against
Vermont
exactly.
league,
Yep.
have our own
Yep.
personal Vermont league, and then we move it on to nationals.
Yep. Yep.
Region nationals, and then
Absolutely. Yep.
move on to that.
Yeah. So, but that being said, I think last time we met was the end of May, and yeah, the school's over, school's out, so
School's
the kids
out.
are off and
Time to
running.
Let the fools out.
Yep. What about you? What have you been playing?
Mostly farm sim, Fortnite,
Yep.
flying,
Yep.
whatever I can
Nice.
do.
Yep. Are
Actually-
you still playing 24 Flight Simulator 24?
Yeah, no, not 24. The other
The
one.
original one?
The
Nice.
original.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna give up on 24 until they figure out what the hell to do
What
with
they
it.
got going on with it? Yeah.
Yeah, with their graphics, and the only thing I could think of down to is my graphics cards.
Yeah.
I got the setting set too high because sometimes, yeah, if your setting is set too high, it will do that.
It'll just crash out. Yeah.
No, it will just.
Oh,
your mouse will just.
I get you.
You know,
Yep.
it's trying to render faster than your mouse is letting it.
Yep.
But the problem is I know it's not my graphics card because it does the same thing on Xbox.
Oh, really? Oh, geez.
So I mean, so yeah, we know
It sounds like a Microsoft issue.
it's a Microsoft issue, not a graphics issue.
Yep.
But yeah, I've been doing that. I've been, like I said, I've been mostly sweating out on COD again because we pretty much went, okay, Fortnite.
Yeah.
Star Wars is done.
Yep. I'm moving on.
I'm
Yeah.
moving on.
The superhero season is fun. It's interesting. There's a lot of new dynamics to learn.
The only two skins that I would actually die to get be worth buying past is Robin and maybe Superman.
Yeah.
The only other ones, all the other ones are like,
Yeah.
really? Do
Little
I want to
chintzy,
waste?
yeah.
Really do I want to waste $8.99
Yeah.
for
I will say,
them?
dropping into a match, if you find Robin as a hireable, as a partner, it's fantastic. Oh my goodness. I think I got second place and I was doing solo squads. But he's just overpowered. He's got strong weapons and he can, does the like radar thing. Yeah, tracking,
Yeah.
So he's really overpowered in that sense.
But yeah, that's the only two I would
Yep.
waste my $8.99 on. But other than that, no, I'm not wasting my $8.99. I'll go back over to COD
Yep.
where we can sweat it out, and I have been sweating it out.
Yeah.
We switched to Warzone, and surprisingly, it's not that bad this time of year.
No?
This year,
Nice.
this version.
I haven't played Warzone in a while. Long
Oh yeah,
while.
we've been playing Warzone, and
Nice.
the only thing that was turning me off on Warzone is the fact that they would literally shoot you out of the sky, get no more landed. They, or coming in, they'd be sitting there, somebody on the roof,
jeez, yeah.
taking a pot shot at you as you come in. It's like, come on, wait till I at least get a weapon.
Right?
No chance. So yeah, anyways, that's what I've been playing. Let's move on to our trivia question. The trivia question I had for last month was, what three-person shooter game developed by Nintendo who was first released in 2015, which featured creatures known as the Inklings, that can transfer between humans and squid-like forms. It was Splatoon.
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 Did I have a trivia question last month? I didn't get a chance.
What was the number one selling?
Oh, the number
video
one
game?
selling game of all time. Yeah. I know what the answer is.
I know what the answer is.
What's the answer?
After you told me.
Oh, it's Minecraft.
It's Minecraft.
Over 300 million copies sold. I think a couple of the games have hit that, but it's the kids love the mines.
My guesses were totally off, but my guesses were Mario, Halo, and Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
Those are my three guesses.
Yeah. No, Minecraft is the most.
Zelda.
Zelda?
Zelda would have been one of my other guesses.
Those are close.
Yeah.
Not they're relatively close, but
Yeah.
Yep.
Because Mario is the number one seller for. Cash Bandicoot, because it was the number one seller for. It still is the number one seller for Nintendo.
Yeah.
Is Mario.
Mario. Yeah. Yep.
It still is. Halo's the number one seller for
Xbox.
Yep. Actually, COD is the number one seller for
Sony.
PlayStation.
Yep.
PlayStation. So I mean, neither of those be the number one?
Right.
It's like holy cow.
Holy cow. Yeah, something very platform.
Based.
Yeah.
All right, my trivia question question for this month is: in Super Mario Kart, the very first game in Nintendo's racing franchise, which of the playable character has the smallest name?
Oh, that's a good question.
Should I
Okay.
give him a hint?
Nah, they don't need a hint. I don't have a question ready. Let me see if I can just find one.
And trust me, guys, next week is going to be a hard one.
Let's do that. We'll clip this part out.
Yes, editing, post-edit.
Come on. Well, just search. It's like I have no internet now. Okay.
I go to 129 video games.
Let me see. Okay, I can't find one, but I'm gonna come up with a trivia question right now. There is one game that is widely considered to be held as the lowest point of the video game industry, referring to like the video game industry crash in 83 or 84. The game released for Atari, I believe Atari 7600. There is a story that this game was so bad that Atari buried every copy of this game that they had because it never sold. So there's
I have a copy of this game.
They didn't get all of them. It is widely considered the worst game ever made. Whether or not that's true,
it wasn't.
It's really not, but it just became the symbol of trash video games on systems.
Yeah.
Little history lesson: before Nintendo with Atari and ColecoVision and things like that, anybody can make a game and put it out on there. What resulted was a system that had a few good games made by professionals and then a bunch of games that were just absolutely horrible,
crap.
awful. I almost gave it away. I'm going to cut that part out. This game that I'm referring to in the trivia question is the poster child for that failed system. What that then led to was Nintendo coming out with the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Yes.
And
Seal approval.
the gold seal approval of Nintendo. They would not allow companies to release games for the NES unless they were verified and approved by Nintendo themselves. That was something the other companies beforehand didn't do, and I think that's something that the industry has done since. So kudos and bravo to Nintendo for coming up with that. And that, I think, kind of
And it was
saved the industry in a sense that it
And
let
it
people know
killed-
there wasn't going to be just a
and
delusion.
Because of this game, it killed Atari.
Yeah.
Atari pretty much went, okay, I'm done. We're just
Yep.
going to go strictly to
Making systems
Making-
or whatever
making
whatever it
games,
was
that's
they were
it.
doing.
Boom.
Yep.
no more of these games, no more making the consoles.
Yep. So that's my trivia question. Which game is famously buried in the desert, southwest region of the United States? And
Buried in Nevada. It's in, I think, just outside of Henderson, Nevada. They dig a big old pit and buried every single copy and then buried and flattened to the land.
yep. So if you know the answers, drop them in the comments below, and we'll let you know what your prize is next month.
I would love to go out there and
Right? Go find a couple copies.
go
Yeah.
dig out a couple copies.
Yeah,
just
I mean,
to-
people
just
have-
to stick them in there
Yeah.
just to see if
Little
they,
tombstone sticking out of the ground.
no, just to see if they still work
Yeah.
after all these
Yeah.
years.
I bet they could be trash.
They're trash because they got dirt after all these years and all
Dirt
that.
and everything else. Yep.
Yep. All right, moving on to our news section. All right, Donkey Kong Bonanza game and the Apple bundle available at Walmart. You can get your physical copy available
Nice.
pre-order for $70 ahead on July 7th, launch of exclusively for Switch 2. So yeah, if this is the first franchise game since 1999.
Wow.
For Donkey Kong 64, we'll also see you also need a Switch 2 Donkey Kong Bonanza. Launches exclusively on Switch 2 on July 17th. Out of Nintendo's exclusive shown off of 2 so far.
That game looks pretty good. It looks like Super Mario Odyssey for the Switch, but you're playing as Donkey Kong, and basically everything's breakable. The ground, the buildings, you can smash, you can demolish, you can.
Yeah, breaking series of canyons.
It looks incredibly fun. I'm
yeah.
still trying, not actively trying to get a Switch 2, but if the stars align, I'm gonna try and grab one because it looks incredible.
It is, and moving on to adding on kind of the Switch 2 type of stuff.
Yeah.
I was there at EB Games the day it came out. GameSpot.
Yep.
The day they came out.
Yep.
People were lined up around the mall in Burlington, lined up around the game at 8 o'clock in the morning. GameSpot don't open until 10.
Yep.
So 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, they have a line all the way down to the food court, waiting
right.
for people.
Nice.
People
I miss those days. What? That's hey,
And
they got
were
their copies.
sold out by
Yeah.
the time I went in there.
I think there was
3 hours
there
later.
was a story that a truck with like 3,000 Switch 2s got robbed. There's a couple $1 million worth of inventory taken. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be as bad though as when the Switch first came out. That was like you couldn't find the
it
Switch
was-
and the PlayStation 5. I know they weren't the same times, but the PlayStation. I remember when the PS5 came out.
We
That
had
thing
Tickle
was
Me Elmo.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
We
yep.
had Tickle Me Elmo and
Cabbage Patch Dolls.
Catch Doll
Yep.
Wars when those games came out.
But they seem to be doing. I feel like if I had the money in hand and I really wanted to try and get a Switch 2 right now, I could.
Yeah.
I feel like I could find somewhere online that would send it out or something like that. But as opposed to when the Switch first came out and when the PS5 first came out, it was you couldn't find one. There was so many more supply chain issues back then for that stuff.
Not only that, but a lot of people that are buying them now are the ones that are going to be putting them on eBay.
Yeah, and they're
next
trying
day.
to do everything they can to work around the scalpers like that, but
They're
it's
scalpers.
always going to happen. Like you can only mitigate so much of that.
Yeah,
So.
that's what they usually do. People buy it first, put it on eBay for twice as
And
much.
I mean, Nintendo doesn't mind because they made the initial sale. They asked for $450 for it. They got $450. If that guy
Who
wants
cares?
to sell,
Sells
that
it
guy
for
wants to
$500?
that guy wants to sell it for $900. That's on the sucker that's paying $900. I guess
It's on you for 9% buying.
I mean,
it for
if you want to pay $900 for a Switch and now a Switch 2 now, or pay $450 in a week or two, that's if you got that kind of money, that more power to you.
More power to you. So yeah, and also they're just talking about how the Joy-Con stations for Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be cheap, but there's a catch. I haven't really read the catch yet. Nintendo is a third-party partner, so plenty. Oh, there's exist already. In fact, there's tons of Joy in Nintendo, including. So basically, the catch is you're going to have to not get it through Nintendo.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Manufacturer, there are two more controllers that are made by third-party manufacturers.
Oh,
They're
I
not
see.
licensed.
Okay. Yeah, that's just for the charging docks.
Yeah,
it's
charging
kind of
docks.
weird that Nintendo doesn't have an official charging dock for their controllers.
Yeah.
But
You can get them cheap, but yeah, they're going to
Yep.
be cheaply made.
all right.
All right, moving on to, or how about we do that Microsoft?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Handheld.
I wanted to talk about the. If my notes can come up here. I wanted to talk about Xbox Game Showcase that they had June 8th, I think, or June
Yeah.
6th. Maybe June 8th. And they announced the Xbox ROG Ally, which is basically a rebranding of a handheld gaming PC that came out last year. A little bit better specs, but fully branded and ready to go to be a portable Xbox. Not only is it going to be Xbox, compatible and front facing, but you're also going to be able to have your Epic Games PC library on there. You're going to be able to have your Steam library on there as well as your Xbox cloud gaming.
Yeah, well, I'm just looking up the keynotes.
Yep.
The keynotes. But also, that's the key. Steam.
That's the big, for me, that's the thing that I'm like, I cannot wait for.
It's because they have partnered with Steam to build this. So, I mean, basically what it is, it's a Steam Valve handheld with, instead of Steam OS, Microsoft OS.
Yep.
Built right over the top of it.
Yep.
And you can basically use a handheld computer, PC computer. But you're going, wait a minute, I got one right here in my pocket. It's called a phone.
Yeah. That's not the same.
But it's not the same because you can't play video. Dude, guys, you're going to be able to play Cyberpunk on this thing. You're going to be able to play any Game Pass game on this thing and be able to take it anywhere you want.
Yep, I love it. And the fact that Microsoft didn't design this themselves, they're basically just licensing out the Xbox name to a gaming PC, I think is a really smart move on Microsoft's part for not having to spend millions and millions of dollars developing their own proprietary hardware for this stuff. Because if it doesn't take off, you're left with something like, the PlayStation Portal, which nobody uses. And it's to me, it seemed like a really, really smart way to introduce Xbox into the handheld ecosphere. And it's such a different world of handhelds since the Switch. Once the Switch came out, and you started getting the avalanche of handheld gaming PCs and Steam Decks and things like that. I think Microsoft did a good job of waiting a little while to finalize what they're going to do, and then to basically license out the name and have somebody else do a lot of the hard work of the hardware and stuff is a really, really smart move.
Yeah, it is, and I'm just going trying to find the Microsoft game basically
Highlights from the showcase.
Yeah, highlights from the showcase.
The big thing was Outer Worlds 2. It's a fun game. Obsidian
made Outer Worlds 2.
Company behind Fallout New Vegas. It's Outer Worlds is fun. It feels
Fallout New Vegas and all that. And they got a new series. Oh, sorry, new season. Everything was announced. Kick off the show coming. High Life.
High on Life 2. Sequel to that game is coming out. Resonance, A Plague Tale Legacy.
I would love to play this. Here's that.
Yeah.
Handheld is using Resin AI APU.
Yeah, they've got a couple different models. They've got the Ally X, couple different specs.
Hollow Knight's getting a new launch.
Yep.
LA. Blood of Dawn Walker's coming out this year.
Super Meat Boy 3D. That looks like a heck of a lot of fun. Those games are challenging in a fun way.
Wow, Super Meat Boy wasn't expected 3D sequel of the indie platform coming from early 2026 to platform Xbox, PC, Xbox, Game Pass, etc. Ninja Gaiden 4 and Izu drops its way on into PC, Xbox in October. These are just all another DLC for Indiana Jones.
Yep.
Have you played that one?
My son has beaten it. I have not played it yet.
I have played it.
I'm waiting to get some time that I can dive into a single player game.
It is good.
Yeah, I've seen it in action. It looks awesome. It looks like a lot of fun. I just want to dive into it.
It's a lot like Grand Theft.
Yep.
A lot like Grand Theft. If you guys, for those who haven't played that game, it's definitely an indie movie.
Yeah.
You're playing an indie movie, right down to discovering artifacts and stuff like that. It's kind of fun.
Using the whip.
Using the whip. Clockwork Revolution.
Yep, that game looks interesting. I think it's just a
really trailer, but no date.
action RPG with some funky artwork.
Yeah, it's a first revealed a Clockwork Revolution in 2023. We thought it might be a new BioShock, but we have actually excited to see that RPG veterans in slightly Wasteland 3 and 4, Bard's Tale 3. Bard's Tale is always a good game.
Mm-hmm.
I always enjoyed that. Making their take on a lovely child of Aquam and vampires of Mesquite bloodlines. So yeah, we're getting these are the stuff from the showcase. So
yep. Grounded 2.
Grounded 2 is coming out. Corunus, the New Dawn, survive the nest. I mean, these are all coming out. I know.
Yeah, a lot of it just updates and stuff. Elder Scrolls Online's got things. So they had a good
Ephion, and it's coming out. They got a pretty good series, a pretty good showcase.
Yep.
So, whatnot.
Oh, there was one game in there that absolutely blew my mind.
Planet of Lana 2.
Yeah, Planet of Lana is getting a sequel. No, the game I'm really, really excited for was Invincible Versus, which is based off of the anime show Invincible, but it's a fighting game like Marvel vs. Capcom. It's a 3 versus 3 tag fighter.
Ooh.
And it's got the animation and art style of like Marvel vs. Capcom Street Fighter games, but it has the violence and brutality of Mortal Kombat.
Oh, P4R,
Persona 4.
Gears 1 is back again.
Yep, they've got another
Reloaded.
Yep.
Oh.
I don't know how many times they can put that. I'm not a big fan of Gears of War. I'm sorry.
Not?
It's not.
I love Gears of War.
I haven't played them enough, and when I did play them, I didn't like the gameplay. I'm sure that could change, but yeah, Invincible Versus is probably playing behind us right now. At some point.
At some point.
Looks absolutely fantastic. If you're a fan of the show and like fighting games, this is right in the sweet spot.
Yeah. I mean, get back to what? You didn't like Gears?
I never got into them. No, when Gears of War started. So my video game odyssey kind of went from 64 to GameCube, and then from GameCube I went to the Wii. I did not play a lot of Xbox 360 at all because I had a Wii when they first came out, and then I went to a PlayStation 3, and basically everything that was on the Xbox 360 in that generation I never really played. It wasn't until
you got to get yourself into them.
I got to check it out. I played it a little bit, and I was like, it wasn't grabbing my attention enough, and I think it was one of those things that was so overhyped. I was like, felt like I needed to be sucked into it immediately. Otherwise, it's just not for me.
No,
so.
it is slow to get into, but once you get into the series,
it's a good time.
Oh, it's a good time.
I'll check it out. Yeah, I've had lots of friends over.
Good series.
Love with it. So.
Of course, when I started late in the series.
Yep.
I started at Gears of War 5.
Yep.
4 and 5. Yeah, 3, 4, and 5.
Yep.
And by then the storyline has gotten better and better and better.
Yep.
Then all of a sudden I got onto the Game Pass, Xbox One, Gears of War 1 and 2.
Yep.
1 and 2 is but 3 and 4.
You think 3's a good spot to like jump into?
3 and 4.
I might check out. Yeah. That's kind of what it like. I think I was playing the original Gears of War, and it's like this is kind of fun, but like it doesn't feel like it. Like I feel like 2 or 3 is gonna have all the ideas they want.
5 is a multiplayer.
Okay.
But it's one of these. It's a multiplayer, but it's not.
Yeah, it's co-op multiplayer, right? Yeah.
You know, you can play it as a single, but
you're gonna have those teammates no matter what, and they're either computer or human control. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is fun.
Yeah.
You get in
That's
there.
That's how the Ghost Recon Wildlands games are.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun.
Yep.
So, and then let's move it. This one's later down the news, but I was going to talk about it anyway. COD Black Ops 6, Black Ops 7.
Yep.
It's coming out, and I have seen the trailer only because of the fact that I'm on COD.
Yep.
And they've released the Black Ops the trailers. Oh my god.
I think I think they had some of that trailer there. It looks.
Let's
go.
It's cyberonic.
Yep.
You are fighting robots.
Yep. Yeah, it looks
Black Ops.
It looks intense. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to that one.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to that one. And then if you like 7 or like 6, guys, I'm pretty sure 7 is going to be just as good.
Nice.
So, anyways, moving. We're still looking at the stuff. Let's move on to Borderlands.
Borderlands 4.
4. And there's a series that I don't know if you have, but I haven't even gotten into.
I played it a little bit. I think it's kind of the same with Gears of War. It's one of those, like, it was hyped up so much to me that when I got into it,
Same here.
it wasn't as fun. But I played 1 or 2. The gameplay mechanics they have are really, really cool. In terms of, like, you can, like, kit bash weapons together to kind of make different weapons, and it's a lot of resources and doing this and that. And the gunplay is a lot of fun. It feels like Destiny, or one of those kinds of shooters. Fallout 76 kind of feels the same way.
To me, it was fun, but if you had more than 2 players, it would made it a lot better.
Yeah.
You know,
I never played a multiplayer, so I like.
No.
Yeah.
If as a solo player, you know, somebody that's not real good at gun games, it's not the best.
Yeah, it's not that fun.
It's not that fun.
Yeah.
But I played it once with my brother-in-law. He had Borderlands 2, both on PC.
Yep.
And we just sat there and kicked ass. But, you know, unfortunately, when you went back to solo, it was like...
It's not as fun? Okay.
Not as fun.
So the game is definitely better with more people.
More you play with. But it's one of these games that's set up for multiplayer use.
Yeah.
Better than...
Yep.
You know, there is some games out there where they build it for more multiplayer.
Yeah.
And Borderlands is one of these. It's better,
Yeah. Better multiplayer.
Better multiplayer. So this one's actually Borderlands 4 is coming out September 12th.
Yep.
For PC, PS5 for the whole line, including the Switch.
Yep.
So that's going to be for $70, and that's all we know about it right now. We got a trailer out. It looks pretty good for you Borderlands fans. Yes, go for it. Buy it.
Yeah, Borderlands fans, if anybody's out there watching, what do you think of Borderlands 4? Because clearly we're not big fans of it, and I don't know if it looks good or if it looks like trash compared to the other ones. So let us know.
We're not. Yeah, Borderlands was not a series that I really got into. So, all right, and then we'll just talk about Squid Games real fast. It's taking over Fortnite Reload next week with the new map. For those people who are like Squid Games, go for it.
Yep.
Play it.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good Fortnite collaboration.
Yeah. It does. I never liked the series.
Squid Game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched a few episodes.
I watched the first 2 or 3 episodes and went, nope, not me.
I figure, I know how this is going to end.
She's seen the first season and went, no.
Yep. Yeah, that'd be interesting.
And everybody going, what? You don't like Squid Game? No, I don't like watching a bunch of people getting murdered just for the
money.
fun of it.
Yeah.
Just
right?
for money.
Yep.
Yeah, just for the fun of it. Yeah, it's not fun. Run, don't walk. Red light, green light. And that doll is creepy.
Yeah. Yeah, the show can be unsettling.
Very unsettling.
All right, let's
So
see what
is
I've
there
got for
anything
my
new?
Let me
Need to
take
cover?
a peek here. If there's
mean, I
anything
can-
else I wanted to talk about.
I mean, I could look up a whole bunch of stuff
Yeah, no,
that just came in through the wire here.
Oh, we didn't talk about that. Okay, I guess the last thing I could throw out there. They announced Resident Evil 9 Requiem coming out February 2026.
Ooh.
And it's a mix of first and third person gameplay.
How cool.
So that will be interesting. Other stuff. Oh, the other thing that they announced. I'll just get into it for just a moment here.
Go ahead, I'm looking.
They announced at the PlayStation State of Play the Mortal Kombat Ultimate Collection. It's Mortal Kombat 1, 2,
The original
3,
one?
Ultimate 3, and 4.
Of course, the original series.
The original Mortal Kombat 4 with the Ultimate thrown in there. But it's the arcade version of every one of those. It's the Sega Genesis version of every one of those. It's the handheld version of every one of those. It has every version of the game, every console and handheld version. So if you want
If
to
you
play,
ain't noticed, boys, my draw is down here already.
if you want to play Mortal Kombat 2 on the Game Gear, it's going to be on there, and all of it is going to be online multiplayer as well. Yeah,
All right,
it seems
all right,
absolutely beautiful,
all
right?
All right,
yeah.
all right.
As far as I know, it's only coming out on PS5.
Oh,
but I'm sure that
son of a monkey's uncle.
I'm sure if it's
Damn
I'm sure
you,
it's just a
Sony.
timed exclusive. But I like if that game comes out and there's no plans for an Xbox, I will buy a PS5 for that game because that is the ultimate collection.
Yes,
Not just the arcade versions, but like
Arcades
also
alone, I wasted that's another one I wasted a bunch of
Absolutely.
$5
Yep.
worth of quarters in
yeah.
just to get my butt kicked.
I think that's about it. I think that's all I got. I can't wait for Mortal Kombat Ultimate Collection.
I thought I saw some coming through. I'm looking at the latest game news.
Yep.
No, Star Wars Battlefront 2 Steam player count just keeps climbing, breaking new records. Oh wow, we will get a surprise new major emote or skin for the first time in several years.
Wow.
Yeah. So other than that, no, I don't see anything that really go, hey.
All right. Well, sounds good to me.
That sounds good to me because Blood of Dawnwalker's gameplay demo shows night and day vampire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and we forgot to talk about Death Strand 2 being released.
Yeah.
This
Is it already out?
release times for region. Actually, it's 40 hours sooner.
Yep, the full release date is the 26th with early access for pre-orders on the 24th. Okay, so we're a couple days away.
A couple days away.
All right.
Death Strand 2. Now, I've played Death Strand 1 and this one. Okay.
Yeah, I heard it's a
After-
lot of walking.
It is. After 5 missions, I'm like,
Yeah,
really?
it kind of gets repetitive. I'm curious to see what this one is all about. I might jump into if I can get a chance to play this game. I think I will, just so I can see if
How repetitive it really is.
see what's different because I played probably 20 minutes to maybe an hour of the original Death
Same
Stranding.
here. That's
And
all I
it
lasted
was-
about an hour or two of
It was interesting, but like I could see it's like okay, this is gonna get old real fast.
It did.
So-
It just got old for me. It's like,
I'm-
go
I'm-
here,
I'm-
go here, go here, go. That's all you do. You just go back and forth, collecting the same stuff.
Yep.
You know.
So I'm interested to see what Hideo Kojima is just an absolute genius when it comes to game design. So
Yeah,
and
it's-
stories and stuff. So I will always see what he's got going on.
Same here.
Yep.
All right. Other than that, nothing else going on. I guess I'll we can wrap it up 2 minutes early.
We'll wrap it up a couple minutes early. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back next week or next month.
Next month.
Actually,
yeah, if you want to push it next week.
no, I'm on vacation next week. Yep.
Because next week's the first of the month.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. I think that'll do it, folks.
All right. Thanks for watching. Bye.
See you next month. Bye.
All right.